Just kind of goes to show my creative liberties when coming up with these opening skits. This guy's literally all I got. Hey everyone, Brobuscus here, and welcome back to another Let's Watch a Death Battle. Today's episode is Akuma from Street Fighter versus Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. Now, before we get into the actual reaction, something I should really catch myself on and really should do better with. There is a link in the description below to go to the official YouTube release. Please watch that before you watch my video. Just support these guys. They make such a fantastic show. Why wouldn't you want to support them? Why would you want to watch someone's reaction video of someone supporting them instead of supporting them yourself? So go do that, and then you can come back and watch my video. Okay. So now that I got that out of the way, I need to make sure I do that more often. Yeah, Akuma versus Shao Kahn. This is a fight that I knew was going to happen, and a surprising amount of people were completely in denial and saying that, like, no, this is going to be Akuma versus Rao, or Akuma versus freaking whoever else. And while there were a lot of other people who were saying, yeah, it's going to be Shao Kahn, in some areas, people were completely denying the fact that this fight even exists. And I'm just like, huh? I feel like this is about as legacy with Screw Attack as you can get. I mean, obviously they're not Screw Attack anymore, but like, the Screw Attack days were, they were mostly just about video games, as particularly fighting games. Their second episode was Akuma versus Shang Tsung. So, and like, Akuma, of all characters, was more than worthwhile to bring back. It's him and Samus at this point, like, that are just like, absolutely, if anybody is due for a run back, it's them. And now Akuma has his. We'll just wait for Samus in the future. But when he was teased in the season 8 teaser, and a lot of people, myself included, were like, okay, so it's Akuma versus Shao Kahn, right? I saw a lot of comments that collectively went, they didn't like this matchup. They started coming up with, this is kind of like a Lex versus Doom in a sense, because people were coming up with different ideas to like make sure like it's not going to be this fight, trust me, even though it absolutely is going to be. And if the next time is what I think it is, then that's another example of that fact. So how do I know these characters? I should probably get into that. So I recently picked up a few Street Fighter copies. I should go grab them, but I'm not going to. I picked up the, I think it's like the 30th anniversary collection. It has like basically all of the arcade games. I also do have Street Fighter V. I toyed around with that for a little bit. I should get back into it. I realized playing both that and the collection that I'm terrible at fighting games. Particularly fighting games that have a bunch of specific combos and like button inputs that I need to use in order to use special attacks, and I can't do them to save my life. So these are clearly not the games for me. But I do know Akuma. I do like Akuma. He seems like a really cool character. Basically the evil antithesis to Ryu. Well, I guess Ryu is more of the heroic antithesis to Akuma, but whatever. So yeah, I like Akuma. I don't know if I'd say he's my favorite Street Fighter character when Ken exists, but yeah, I think he's cool. I think he's really cool. As for Shao Kahn, well, I have this guy, so it should kind of show that I at least have some care for him. But I do like Shao Kahn. He's kind of peak MK villain, I would say. Maybe him and Shang Tsung, but Kahn is a very he's a very simplistic villain. He's just kind of evil because he's evil. But obviously I don't expect fighting games to have like deep characters, so like I expect some like character building, some character growth, development, that kind of stuff. But like just their roles, I just kind of like that. I understand that it's a fighting game. You don't play fighting games for their stories. So Shao Kahn being about as simple as you can get when it comes to being a villain, I think is fine, and he's enjoyable. I like him a lot. In fact, I do have MKX and MK11 downstairs. I have played MK11 briefly. I have not played MKX. I did at one point have Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe back when I had a PS3. I no longer have a PS3, so you can imagine where that went. I seem to be one of the few people in the history of the world who actually kind of likes that game. So, yeah. So as for who I prefer, so I'm actually kind of in a bit of a weird situation. So I like Shao Kahn more, and I like Shao Kahn more than Akuma, and I like Mortal Kombat more than Street Fighter. So I'm just gonna say it right now. I am rooting for him. However, I also don't really want to see Akuma lose because, like, I think I'd be more upset. Not really upset, but like disappointed if Akuma lost because it's kind of his whole shtick that he's a powerhouse of a character. He has barely any losses. He's not died. So, like, Kahn has died. I don't know how many times at this point. So I think that's what it's. I think that's what's affecting me right now. It's like I'm so used to seeing Shao Kahn die that seeing him die here probably wouldn't affect me as much as Akuma. But at the same time, I do prefer Shao Kahn and I do prefer Mortal Kombat, so I'm rooting for him. As for who I think is going to win, well, I thought this would be pretty obvious, but as I've discovered through YouTube and Twitter and even some Discord servers, it seems to be more of an unpopular opinion to say that Shao Kahn absolutely wins this. And I'm not entirely sure why. So, yeah, I'm going for Shao Kahn here. I mean, I don't think it's as... I mean, it's probably more of an unpopular opinion here than in Dio versus Alucard, but, I think it's... I'm not... I don't know how to describe it. I feel a little bit more surprised about that opinion here than in Dio vs. Alucard, because like with Dio vs. Alucard, saying that Dio was going to win being an unpopular... saying Dio wins being an unpopular opinion was kind of expected, but here I don't see it. I don't see why people were so adamant on saying that Akuma wins this. So I'll try to make this brief because I want to get into this episode. But, basically, I think Kahn is just much stronger. He kind of, his whole shtick is merging realms, which are described in multiple media as like either planets or even solar systems. And like there's also Cetrion growing to the size of Earth. And like her being able to like move her arms in tandem with a laser beam she fires should give her, and in turn Kahn, some really good speeds, which makes like I think it was like 26% the speed of light, I want to say. I forget. If it's brought up here, then I'll take note of it. So I think he's faster than Akuma. I guess I could see them probably giving Akuma the speed edge, but I don't think it's going to be by much. Speed is probably not something that will play a massive factor here. Then again, I could be wrong. But anyway, so I think Kahn is stronger, he's faster, he's tougher. I think he's far more experienced. I don't think that's much of a debate. I would say Akuma's probably the better fighter, and I would say he's probably the more mobile fighter. Like, he's probably... Like, I would say Kahn is probably faster, but I'd say Akuma's probably more mobile, more nimble than Kahn is, because Kahn is a very tanky person. Like, he's fast, but, like, he more so, like, takes the hits. At least that's the impression I got from what I know. And I think he's got far more variety when it comes to his moves because he can forge a lot of weapons out of basically nothing. He has soul hacks. I know Akuma has the Raging Demon, but Kahn has millions of souls absorbed into his body. So even if Akuma does land the Raging Demon, I think that Kahn is just gonna survive it because Bison survived it. Like if Bison can survive it, I'm pretty sure Shao Kahn can too. And even then, Kahn also has soul hacks, and they're more varied and probably better because it's stuff he can just do. It's just his general nature. Like he just has soul manipulating powers, whereas the Raging Demon is one technique that needs to land. So Kahn could probably just avoid it. I don't see how he couldn't do that. And if not avoid it, then like maybe because some media, I think, have like portrayed the Raging Demon as like a thing that Akuma does when he like grabs a foe. So what's stopping Kahn from just being like, you're grabbing me? Nope. And just break out of his grip. Because he's that much stronger. The only argument I've heard for Akuma to win is if they go by the previous stats from Ryu versus Jin and the more modern Mortal Kombat fights. The problem with I have no problem with like the Island Punch being like, what I think it was like 400 megatons. So that's pretty cool. But, the problem with using like the modern Mortal Kombat fights is that they all feature characters that are vastly weaker than Shao Kahn. Like Kahn is on the level of like Elder Gods. Like he's tanked a blast from an Elder God amped Raiden and literally laughed it off. He still lost to Raiden, and Raiden still killed him, but like that one blast, which was powered by the Elder Gods, did nothing. And like Sindel can take down Cetrion. She's like one of the few people who can hurt her. And if Sindel can harm Cetrion, then I see absolutely no reason why Kahn shouldn't be able to either. So yeah, I don't really know what more I can say about this one. I'm rooting for Shao Kahn, and I think he's absolutely going to win this. Obviously when I watch the analysis, things might change. I don't know how they'll handle that. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So I've wasted enough time. This has been out for about an hour and a half after now that I'm watching it. So let's do this. It's gonna be an interesting one.
Akuma, Street Fighter's supreme master of the fist.
Shao Kahn, conqueror of Mortal Kombat.
Today, we'll find out which final boss reigns supreme.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
Simplistic intro. Okay.
Their weapons, armor, and skills to find
It's
out
not
who
Link
would
vs.
win
Cloud. Simple.
a death battle.
I'll talk about the animation when we're done with the analysis.
This is the Japanese kanji for heaven, symbolic of the infinite sky above and the one who stands before it.
And the last thing you'll ever see when you meet Akuma.
Trained by Master Gotetsu at an early age, Akuma was practically born
In an alternate
into the
timeline,
ways
he
of
knows
fighting.
Akuma art?
He and his brother Goken
The
were
heck
taught
does
the
that
form
mean?
of Ansatsuken, literally meaning the assassination fist.
You know, everybody says martial arts are all about meditation and being zen and all that other boring shit. Well, Ansatsuken ain't like the other guys.
No.
He combines judo, kenpo, and karate into a unique
Tekken.
It's all about murdering your opponent as fast as possible. Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, the brothers' views on their training greatly differed. Goken
Yeah.
rejected the violent methodology of the Ansatsuken, leaving to develop his own, less lethal variant of the form.
Because a style called Assassination Fist clearly needed less assassination. Good thing Akuma was all about the real deal. He got so hardcore,
Oh yeah,
he
the
started
Darkstalkers
trying to embrace
crossover.
the biggest martial arts secret out there.
The Satsui no Hado. Ever present, ever malicious. This is a manifestation
I wonder who
of
edited this
literal
one.
killing intent. Only Gotetsu had ever mastered this dark power.
So it's like the dark side of the Force, but with karate?
In a sense.
No, but Sure. With the Satsui no
No,
Hado,
it is.
gained great power at the cost of all
Manifest as Oni. I
passion.
forgot to
This
mention
is
Oni.
the power of monsters.
More like winners! Akuma got so good he challenged his master and killed him Sith style. With his ex-master's beads around his neck, he declared himself the new master of the Satsui no Hado.
Obviously, this destroyed his relationship with Goken. The two brothers'
Well, I mean, why
destinies,
wouldn't it?
let alone ideologies, were irreparably torn apart.
But who cares when Akuma's perfected all the abilities of an overpowered Shoto character and then some? He can rain down Go Hadoukens, teleport with the Ashura Senku, and take you for a whirl with the Tatsumaki Zankyukaku.
And if Akuma ever wants to take things up a notch, he can summon forth the Kongo Kokoretsuzan, a geyser of pure
Let's
energy
actually manage to
strong enough
pronounce it.
sink an
I
iron.
saw the
With
analysis
all this
preview.
power, Akuma is among the toughest Street
Enjoy it again.
Fighters out there.
Which says a lot when Hakan could loop himself up with enough oil to, get this, launch E-Honda into orbit to headbutt a giant meteor into smithereens. Well, there's only one way to figure out the TNT of that. I got the oil whiz, get ready to launch.
That's okay. I've already done the math. It's over 500 trillion tons.
Oh, can we still do it though?
Fine.
But did you
Just
know
later,
Akuma's
yeah.
also traded blows with some of the folks from Final Fight? I guess they're Street Fighters too. And the Macho Mayor Mike Hagar can pile drive people so hard it makes an explosion.
Haha,
you
we
see
are
from
counting this,
space.
okay.
Comparing the blast size to Earth's diameter, this explosion must have a yield of over 120 teratons of
Whoa.
TNT.
That might seem nuts, but hey, Akuma's done the same kind of thing. No wonder the only guys who can match him are badasses like Goken.
Akuma would challenge Goken again and again, determined to prove his version of the Ansatsuken was superior. And apparently, he was right, as he defeated
Yeah.
Goken with his signature technique, the
Son
Shungoku
Goku Satsu.
AKA the Raging Demon.
With this, Akuma gives in to his killing intent, targeting a person's soul and killing their spirit with the weight of their sins. There is only one known way to survive it, emptying your own soul from your body. Fortunately, Goken knew
Well,
exactly how to do
known way.
Speaking of souls,
I
this
mean-
guy Nakali once tried to take Akuma's by devouring him, but not being in Devore, Akuma just blew him up instead. He's so powerful.
Yeah,
that
other-
an opponent takes
wait.
less effort than
I mean-
smacking a baby. No, not that Akuma would ever
Yeah.
do that. No, I'm serious. He never would because despite the whole zero compassion thing, he has a weird code of honor.
It's not compassion
Yeah.
at all. To Akuma, fighting is a sort of religion, and respecting the art is more important than anything. He'll spare those with an unfair disadvantage, and those whom he deems respects martial arts like him and can improve. In this way,
Ryu.
he sort of became an unwanted mentor for Goken's student Ryu.
Hey, he's not a total killjoy. He did befriend Elena. Well, more like Elena befriended him, but whatever.
But should you
Yeah.
disrespect the art of fighting, Akuma will not hesitate to murder you as disrespectfully as possible.
Like when he jumped that a-hole and Bison so fast he killed him in one shot. And Bison was quick enough to tag this satellite laser beam.
Following the beam speed at this angle, we can determine it was moving well over 5,000 times the speed of sound.
But even with all that power, Akuma knew he'd never be at his best until he'd mastered the Satsui no Hado and become Akuma Blanco. Shin Akuma.
As Shin Akuma, he possesses full control over the dark art, using it to its fullest extent.
Only Gotetsu had ever mastered the Hado like this, because doing it is not just super difficult, but super dangerous.
Right.
Yeah.
The Satsui no Hado isn't just a form of energy, it is a sentient entity, striving to push those who connect with it to fully commit to their rage. For when they do, they are no longer themselves. They become the Satsui no Hado itself.
Yeah, like when it tried to take over Ryu and manifest it as its own evil person, Kage. Akuma truly believes the Hado is his best chance at becoming the ultimate world warrior, but he also knows that if he's not careful, he could lose himself to it.
And when he does, the Hado will take his body and become the awesome,
Oni.
demonic Oni.
Oh, he's super powerful. Oni's got all sorts of new moves and can easily overpower pretty much any other Street Fighter.
In Japanese folklore, Oni are yokai, or demons, that spawn from the souls of the wicked upon death. However, in some legends, the most evil of humans can actually transform while still alive. such as Shutendoji, a drunken monk who gave in to malice, became an Oni, and was so powerful he could not die, even after he was decapitated.
Not so different from this big bad blue boy. But hey, Akuma hasn't lost himself to the dark side of the Hado yet. The dude split apart mountains, taking a leisurely
No, but
trip
he
to the
will
bottom of
eventually.
the ocean,
That's
and
kind of the whole
literally
point of
leaped
Oni.
into the land above the clouds. He just jumped and he was there. Forget standing before heaven. This dude straight up flies above it.
Akuma's lust for battle will likely never be sated, but his chosen path has been set. He will either be the world's deadliest man or its bleakest failure. Until then, he will never stop searching for a foe who can challenge the might of his Satsui no Hado.
The best presentation of the Raging Demon. Alright, Shao Kahn.
The realm of Outworld is a twisted, barren wasteland where only the strong survive.
Definitely at the bottom of my list of places to go when I retire. And it's off
Yeah.
to the tyrannical ruler, Shao Kahn.
Thousands of years ago, Shao Kahn was an advisor
Original
to
announcer
the
for Mortal
Dragon
Kombat.
King, Onaga.
True.
Until Onaga took
Addicted to
the
taunting
and
opponents.
Kahn poisoned him and
Also
claimed the
true.
throne all his own. Now that's what I call climbing the political ladder.
With an army of demonic Tarkatans and four-armed Shokans at his beck and call, Shao Kahn began conquering and merging other realms with Outworld, including the once idyllic paradise of Edenia.
After which he hooked up with Edenia's queen, Sindel. But his conquest didn't just win him a traitorous MILF. The crafty bastard also picked up a ton of awesome powers.
Kahn is a deceptive leader who isn't afraid to resort to, quite frankly, dickish methods to achieve his devious goals.
Yeah.
Basically a wrestling heel in the form of an otherworldly invader. Right down to dressing like a male stripper.
And despite living on a completely different plane of existence, he's somehow mastered two Chinese martial arts, Daizu and Liu Wei, both of which prioritize fast and aggressive strikes to overwhelm opponents.
But Khan's real bread and butter is his mastery of magic. He can shoot fireballs, create portals, make you his telekinetic yo-yo, bounce projectiles back to sender, and conjure his signature hammer whenever he wants.
With his
The Wrath Hammer.
Khan can crush even the strongest combatants
With a K!
to pieces with his brutal fatalities. But perhaps his most iconic ability is taking souls.
With just a wave of his hand, he can dine on some fine soul food, courtesy of whatever sap crossed his path.
Khan went far with these abilities, and it wasn't long before his conquering eye caught sight of a little planet called
Earthrealm.
But first, his forces had to rack up enough wins in Hit the Music Whiz.
We don't have the licensing rights.
Mortal Kombat! I'm gonna stop there so we don't get sued.
Outworld
Yeah,
only
okay.
had 10 consecutive wins needed to merge with Earth.
But the goody two-shoes monk Liu Kang just had to ruin it all. But Khan just said, screw it, and invaded Earth anyway.
The moment Khan set foot on Earth, he stole the souls of nearly every human being on the planet.
Then physically merged Earthrealm and Outworld into one big melting pot of conquest.
The exact meaning of merging realms is a little vague, but from Mortal Kombat 3's intro, we do know that it transforms the planet into part of Outworld itself. But even when he's not literally folding worlds together, Khan is always a threat to behold, far superior to most of the other combatants.
He's a cocky asshole, but damn, he sure knows how to get stuff done.
He's one
Yeah.
shot at Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade, survived being impaled, broke Kotal Khan's back, and has consistently surpassed the likes of the Thunder God, Raiden.
Oh, being all thundery is as fast as lightning. Khan could even hold his own when Raiden held the power of all the Elder Gods.
For context, the Elder Goddess Cetrion can grow as large as a planet and fire this hyper-fast laser, which, comparing its speed to the curvature of the Earth, can smite mortals at 2% the speed of light.
Oh, only two.
Well,
Okay.
you know you're a big shot when actual
It still
gods
seems
think
faster
you're
than
a pain.
Akuma.
Look at him go!
Don't mistake powerful with invincible. Khan's might is only matched by his arrogance.
Yeah, he really does love
Yeah.
to hear himself talk, even when it leaves him totally open. I guess he doesn't consider the consequences of his constant taunting.
Is that your best?
I thought it was funny.
You suck.
Moving on. Even if it can get the better of him, Khan has proven his arrogance isn't completely unfounded. After ages of conflict, all of the combatants fought in a final clash of good versus evil.
Armageddon.
And Khan emerged as the last man standing.
It was there that he defeated Blaze, an all-powerful elemental who threatened every realm in existence.
Luckily for the good guys, Raiden had a way to basically go back in time and try to stop Khan from winning in the first place. That's right. Kahn was such a big threat, the only way to beat him was a complete do-over.
And even with that victory now a non-existent memory, Shao Kahn will never relent. Even death has never stopped this conqueror from his ultimate quest to rule everything.
I am Khan of Outworld. Vacate my throne, or I'll soak these sands with your blood.
All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Pause. Okay. So, I will admit, I did forget to mention, for Akuma, I did forget to mention the Oni transformation. I didn't quite, I did kind of forget about Shin Akuma as well, but I figure Oni's probably the one that's gonna show up. I did forget about Oni, and I did forget about final fight scaling, so I apologize for that. But even then, merging planets together, and moving at 2% the speed of light, I kind of think Kahn just wins right then and there. I guess they didn't mention a lot of the counter arguments I did for the Raging Demon. So I guess I could see the argument to be made that maybe if Akuma were to land the Raging Demon, he would probably, that might be the finisher. I mean, if Akuma does win, then the Raging Demon has to be the finisher, right? But as it stands, I need to get better with timing this. I'm still going with Shao Kahn. I can see an argument to be made for Akuma to win, just based on what they gave me. But I think the safer bet is Shao Kahn. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But yeah. Okay. So I should talk about the fight, because I did see the preview and I was told about the voice actors. And I did listen to the music. The fight animation, I like it, but I see room for improvement. This is done by the team that did Link vs. Cloud. So, and I really like that fight. So, I have a little bit more faith. I'm hoping the preview we saw was just like obviously it's a preview, but like a taste. Like Dio vs. Alucard's preview, I feel both did it justice and didn't do it justice at the same time. It's a little weird that way. I'm hoping Akuma vs. Shao Kahn's preview is just was just like this is kind of like how we start, but it's gonna pick up. I'm hoping that's the case. Obviously we're gonna see like Oni show up, so hopefully that'll be cool. The main concern a lot of people had with this, and honestly I'm kind of in that boat, is that this is the same team that did Link vs. Cloud, but this is also like 2/3 of the same team that did Barbara versus Gwen, and that fight wasn't particularly. I don't think that fight is awful, but I see where the production issues were had. So obviously, like it basically boiled down to like maybe that team just isn't doesn't specialize in martial arts, and instead excels at the more like flashier, more effect heavy fights, which I think Akuma versus Shao Kahn is just kind of I think this fight is going to be kind of like a middle ground in that regard. Like it's going to be like half hand to hand, half effects. I'm hoping at least, because I know I'm one of those people who subscribe to that theory that just maybe just hand to hand just isn't their thing. And if this fight ends up being good, then we can just probably say that Batgirl versus Spider-Gwen was probably just a fluke. that's possible too. As for voice acting, I was told about the voice actors, but I kind of guessed one of them already. It's Philip Sacramento, the guy who did Yoda, as Akuma, and Gianni Montegrano as Shao Kahn. I kind of guessed Gianni because he sounded like his performance as Lex, but I think Philip is doing an amazing job so far. I obviously need to see the rest of the fight, but Gianni was a little off for a lot of people. I thought it was fine, but I can see why people thought it was off. Hopefully it just gets better. So yeah, I'm not gonna waste too much time because I obviously need to get into watching this. So yeah, you can see all this stuff right here. Let's just get into it.
Die 1,000 deaths! You dare interrupt my tournament. Another fool seeking my throne.
I do like how big Khan is. Like, they definitely got the size difference down. At least it feels like they do. And preview ends here.
You will die.
Oh! Oh!
Is that your best? Weak, pathetic.
Oh, Shinakuma! Oh! Oh, a recreation. It was
Soul is mine. No, the Satsui no Hado is mine.
Oh, here's Oni. Oh, spear. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, but Khan has survived that before. Cool. Ha! They're going the Street Fighter 5 route. Nice. Haha! Oh! Oh!
Flawless victory.
I wouldn't exactly call that flawless, but okay.
That's what I call a fatality.
With the power of the Satsui no Hado, Akuma was a unique challenge for Shao Kahn.
Yeah, like how he resisted Nakali suggests Khan couldn't have just yanked his soul away so easy.
And Akuma's level of power was nothing to scoff at either.
Akuma's biggest hits were way stronger than you'd think, blasting apart meteors and making explosions seen from space. But Khan survived blasts from beings even more powerful than that, like the Elder Gods, who can grow to the size of planets. And remember Blaze? He could destroy all the realms, and even did in one of his endings.
And while Blaze's story ending isn't canon to the Mortal Kombat universe in and of itself, it is still an example of what could happen in canon.
And Khan whooped that red-hot ass.
While we do not have an exact time frame for Blaze's destruction of the realms, destroying Earthrealm alone would require at least overcoming Earth's gravitational binding energy, or about 47.8 zetatons of TNT.
Over 300 million times the power of the Teraton explosion from Akuma's lineup.
And keep in mind, when Kahn merges realms, he is literally morphing an entire planet into
Yeah.
Outworld itself. This means it makes sense he could defeat Blaze, because he already commands a similar level of power.
But I know what you're thinking. What about the Raging Demon, Akuma's awesome finishing move? Shao Kahn has racked up more than enough sin in his time for it to totally murder his soul.
There was always a possibility that Akuma would get a lucky hit in with the Shungoku Satsui. However, given Kahn can keep up with the likes of Elder Gods and their space lasers, he could certainly keep pace with Akuma.
And sure, Khan's an arrogant son of a bitch, but he knows when to get serious. If his
Yeah.
arrogance was that big of an issue, he wouldn't have conquered so many realms.
Both Akuma and Kahn were among the best of the best in their respective worlds, but this match ultimately came down to who would land their killing blow first. Shao Kahn's overwhelming power, mystical abilities, and treacherous strategies were enough to claim this victory.
Outworld's Emperor was the only one who could surpass Akuma.
The winner is Shao Kahn.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We'll be jumping into the next matchup next week. But you can always get more details
Okay.
right now by clicking one of those
So is the
buttons
next
right
fight
here
what I think it
and
is?
by downloading the battle music linked down below.
Good sign. Okay, so, Corvus Storm. Well, great. That's just great. As you can probably tell, I'm not particularly fond of that one. I'm not exactly sure how to feel about that. Well, I thought it was gonna be Ray. Not gonna lie. And now that I know that it's not, I kind of prefer if it was. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna get this real quick out of the way. Storm wins. She absolutely wins. I'm confused. I don't quite understand why this is gonna be Koro's fight. I guess like elemental control is kind of neat, I suppose, but like, I mean, obviously I don't know a whole lot. I don't know absolutely everything about Storm, to be fair, but I just when you have an avatar go up against an Omega level mutant, I feel like the result there should be obvious. And I just, how on earth are they gonna make that fight interesting? Okay, I obviously it's Death Battle. They can make any matchup good, so I guess I'll just have to wait and see. But as of right now, I'm not into it. I'm honestly not. Okay, well, talking about this fight, I liked it. Both the animation quality itself and Khan's voice actor definitely grew on me as I was getting into it, as the fight was going on. There's still a little bit of that Blender SFM jank here and there. And I think some of the blows that both of them land are just not quite as impactful. I like the Oni transformation. I like the finisher. I do like how they were recreating the Raging Demon from Street Fighter V. And hey, look, I got it right. I would say that's a surprise, but yeah. I kind of figured that I knew Shao Kahn was gonna win from the start. I knew he was gonna win from the moment he was teased, or that Akuma was teased, because I knew he was gonna fight Shao Kahn, and I knew Shao Kahn was gonna win then. So yeah. So I mean, like I said, I feel bad for Street Fighter fans since they just got a win recently after a massive losing streak, and now they're back on it. Well, as of right now. And I'm not exactly thrilled to see Akuma lose. I like the guy a lot, but I knew Shao Kahn was gonna be the victor here. I don't exactly know why this was so contested. I don't exactly know why this was so split. So okay. I will admit the music wasn't really thrilling to me. It just kind of felt background-ish. So that definitely didn't help matters much. Yeah. And Akuma's Philip Sacramento did a fantastic job as Akuma. Straight up. I do like the effects. Like the highs of a Blender / SFM fight are there. Like the effects are well done. The models look really good. And all that stuff. It's just when they get into like the actual like close quarters hand-to-hand combat, it's when they start to struggle, and I think they still kind of struggled here. So I will say, comparing their other fight this season, I do prefer Link versus Cloud. In fact, I think I prefer most of their other works for the show, minus Batgirl versus Spider-Gwen. That fight also was just doomed to fail from the start, I feel, because, like, just why? So, yeah, I do like what we have. I don't want to say it's like a Macho Man versus Kool-Aid Man situation, but it's one of those fights where it's like, I like it, but I don't love it. Still, it was totally worth seeing these two again. It's been a hot minute since either of them have been in death battle, so I think this was a good run back for both. It also shows just how in-depth they'll be able to go with both Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat in more modern day fights. Especially the higher ups, like especially for Mortal Kombat. 'Cause like if Raiden were to come back or something, or if we were to bring in like Cetrion somehow, we definitely have a pretty good idea there. So yeah, I don't really have much more I can say on this. I like it. Not particularly. It's not a favorite, but I do like what we have. And yeah. And then the next fight is certainly a thing. I hate to be this negative about a reveal so early on in these reaction videos, but Korra vs. Storm was a fight that I just didn't think would be all that interesting. I mean, granted, I wasn't like particularly huge on Rei either, but I would take that over this. I mean, ideally, I would probably take Korra Delson, but there was no way we're gonna get Delson before Cole, especially in a season like this. Like if this season didn't have Cole versus Alex, which it's not looking very good for that fight, then Delson's chances are next to none. So I knew Delson wasn't going to be it, but I honestly thought it was going to be Storm. I thought it was going to be Ray. And I would have preferred Ray over Storm. I think that fight works better. I think it would have looked cooler. And it's also way more fair. Because, yeah, like I said, I do not see a snowball's chance in hell for Koro's victory here. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And obviously, like, any previews that come up, that might make things interesting, but yeah, I guess I'll just I'll wait for that fight, and then we'll get Madara versus Aizen soon after. Okay, I think that's all I have to say. So thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.